Mastering Calm, the art of unshakable presence. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about power. Not the kind that shouts from rooftops or demands attention with noise, but the kind that walks into a room and shifts its energy without saying a word. This is the power of calm, a force so magnetic, so commanding that it doesn't need to prove itself. It's the strength of a man or woman who, when chaos erupts, remains unshaken. Their voice doesn't rise. Their pulse doesn't race. Their focus never wavers. This calm isn't weakness. It's mastery. It's leadership. It's legacy. And today, I'm going to show you how to build it, own it, and wield it in a world that thrives on chaos. The myth of loudness. We live in a culture obsessed with volume. We're told the loudest voice wins, the sharpest comeback conquers, the fastest reaction proves strength. But look closer. The person who yells to be heard often loses the room. Their words dissolve into noise, their energy scatters, and their influence fades. Now picture someone different, a leader who, in the middle of a heated argument, doesn't flinch. They don't interrupt, they don't defend, they listen, they pause, and when they speak, their words cut through the chaos like a blade through silk. That's power. That's calm. Calm isn't about avoiding conflict or silencing your voice. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that no one can shake your inner stillness. It's about walking into a storm and becoming its anchor. I've seen it in boardrooms, across dinner tables, in moments when tempers flare like wildfire. The person who stays composed, who doesn't react but responds, becomes the one everyone turns to. They don't just hold the room, they own it. Let me ask you, have you ever lost your cool and regretted it? Maybe you snapped in a meeting, fired off a sarcastic reply, or let someone's tone hijack your peace. What if, in that moment, you had paused? What if you had chosen silence over reaction? Would the outcome have been different, better? I'm willing to bet it would, because calm isn't just a feeling. It's a decision. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained. Training your calm. You weren't born calm. None of us were. We came into this world crying, reacting, demanding. But just as you can train your body to lift heavier weights, you can train your mind to hold steady under pressure. Calm is forged in the fire of discipline, one intentional choice at a time. Here's how you start. 1, observe your triggers. Who sets you off? What words or tones make your blood boil? Is it disrespect? Arrogance? A certain phrase? Notice these patterns. Write them down. Awareness is your first weapon. Once you know what pulls you off center, you can prepare for it. You can rehearse your response, not just your words, but your posture, your breath, your intention. Imagine walking into a room where someone insults you. Everyone's watching. Instead of firing back, you smile faintly, stay silent, and let the moment pass. The offender shrinks. You stand taller. That's not luck, that's preparation. 2, detach your identity. A rude comment doesn't define you. A disagreement doesn't diminish your worth. Your value isn't tied to someone else's opinion or behavior. Anchor your sense of self in your purpose, not your emotions. When you stop letting external events dictate your inner state, you gain freedom. You respond instead of react. You choose clarity over chaos. Picture a heated meeting. Voices rise. Accusations fly. Everyone's waiting for someone to lead. You don't shout. You don't defend. You speak slowly, clearly, and the storm loses its grip. Your stillness becomes the loudest force in the room. 3, practice restraint. Restraint isn't weakness. It's the highest form of strength. Anyone can lash out, throw a verbal punch, or humiliate an opponent. But to hold back, to choose silence over a cutting remark, to walk away when you could destroy, that's mastery. Restraint says, I could dominate this moment, but I don't need to. It's the difference between a swordsman swinging wildly and a surgeon cutting with precision. Next time you're tempted to fire back, ask yourself, does this serve me, my mission, my future? If the answer's no, let it go. Your silence will speak louder than 1,000 clever replies. The power of stillness. Stillness isn't passivity. It's a fortress. It's the deep ocean floor, unmoved by the waves crashing above. The world will always rage. People will provoke, criticize, dismiss. But when you cultivate inner stillness, you carry peace with you. You don't wait for the world to be kind. You bring kindness into the chaos. You don't beg others to be respectful. You command respect by refusing to be rattled. Imagine a sailor in a violent storm. Waves tower, winds scream, the ship groans. Yet beneath the surface, the ocean remains calm, steady, unshaken. That's you. You live in the world's chaos, but within you is a stillness no storm can touch. You build this in quiet moments, early mornings when you sit with your thoughts, long breaths before a big decision, questions asked in solitude. Who am I becoming? The answer comes not in noise, but in clarity. You are not your reactions. You are your responses. Stillness attracts. People feel it. They trust it. They lean into it. The person who doesn't flinch, who listens with presence and speaks with purpose, becomes the anchor others seek in a crisis. They don't need to shout for attention. They earn it by being unshakable. But this takes practice. Start small. When tension rises, stay still. When criticism stings, stay still. When provoked, stay still, not as a performance, but as a discipline, because the person who cannot sit with stillness will always be owned by the noise around them. Be the mirror, not the fire. When people bring conflict, they expect you to match their fire. They want your reaction, your anger, your chaos. It fuels them. It validates their storm, but you don't give it. You become the mirror, calm, reflective, unshakable. You don't ignite their flames. You show them their own. Let them shout. Let them unravel. You stay steady, responding only when it serves your purpose. Picture this. You're in a public place and someone tries to provoke you. They raise their voice, throw a cheap shot, bait you into a fight. All eyes are on you. Instead of matching their energy, you listen. You breathe. You speak slowly, directly, or maybe you say nothing at all. The crowd doesn't see weakness. They see mastery. They see someone who refuses to be pulled into chaos. That's the mirror's power. It reveals truth without adding fuel. It forces others to confront their own rage, their own insecurity, and most will either quiet down or walk away. This isn't about avoiding confrontation. It's about choosing your battles. You don't let others dictate your energy. You fight with clarity, not chaos, with vision, not vengeance. Your calm isn't indifference, it's command. And in a world addicted to noise, that command becomes legendary. Speak like a surgeon. Words are not toys. They're tools. Hammers to build, scalpels to heal or cut. Most people swing their words like swords, reckless and loud, hoping volume equals strength. But you speak like a surgeon, precise, purposeful, deliberate. One well-placed sentence can shift a conversation, mend a relationship, or redirect a crisis. One careless phrase can leave scars no apology can erase. Before you speak, ask, what do I want my words to do? Heal or harm? Direct or distract? Build or burn? If you can't answer clearly, wait. Clarity comes from stillness, not impulse. In a crisis, when panic spreads and voices escalate, don't add to the noise. Raise your hand. Speak low. State the facts. Offer a plan. Watch the room shift. Not because you shouted, but because you anchored. Think of a time you said too much, too fast. Maybe you won the argument but lost respect. Maybe your perfect comeback left you empty. The goal isn't to win every moment, it's to move things forward. Speak to guide, not to dominate. Let your tone carry steadiness. Your words lift the room. When you speak less but with more weight, people listen, not because you demand it, but because you've earned it. Patience, endurance with purpose. Patience isn't waiting, it's enduring with intention. It's not passive, it's powerful. It's the quiet strength to stand your ground when the world screams, rush, react, retaliate. Patience is for the disciplined, not the lazy. It's the decision to wait for the right moment rather than act out of desperation. The world glorifies speed, the first to speak, the first to strike. But great achievements belong to those who master timing. They don't jump at every chance. They prepare for the right one. Imagine you're in line for an opportunity you've earned. Others cut ahead. Your pride burns. But instead of exploding, you breathe. You trust your preparation. When your moment comes, you're ready in a way no one else is. Not because you rushed, but because you refused to be rushed. Start practicing patience today. Delay small gratifications. Resist the urge to interrupt. Listen longer than feels comfortable. Let someone else take the spotlight. These small tests build your strength. Over time, your restraint becomes magnetic. People trust your timing. Rely on your steadiness. You become the one they turn to, not because you rush, but because you know when to move. The cost of anger. Every outburst has a price. Anger feels powerful in the moment, like you're taking a stand, asserting control. But when the fire dies, you're left with ashes. Lost trust, strained relationships, missed opportunities. Words said in rage don't vanish. They leave marks. They build walls that can take years to dismantle. Imagine you're leading a team and someone makes a costly mistake. Your instinct is to slam the table, raise your voice, demand accountability. You feel strong for a second, but the room goes silent, not with focus, but with fear. Creativity shuts down, trust evaporates. Now imagine a different approach. You pause, call the person aside, ask what happened. You listen, you redirect, you hold them accountable with respect. The worker learns, the team breathes. You lead, not from emotion, but from wisdom. Anger isn't the enemy. Uncontrolled anger is. Righteous anger has its place, but even then it must be measured, not manic. Notice the heat rising, the urge to lash out. That's your signal to pause. Don't suppress it. Redirect it. Walk. Write. Breathe. Don't hand your power to the wind. Every time you stay calm, you deepen your command. You train your mind to lead yourself first, and that's where true leadership begins. Build a disciplined life. Calm isn't a gift, it's a construction. It's built brick by brick, habit by habit, in the quiet moments when no one's watching. The person who lives reactively, scrolling mindlessly, sleeping late, rushing through mornings, sets themselves up for chaos. Their mood swings, their temper flares. Every inconvenience becomes a crisis. But you rise early, not to impress, but to align. You read to sharpen your mind, exercise to strengthen your resolve, reflect to set your intentions. You decide who you'll be before the world decides for you. Picture two people. One wakes at dawn, sits in silence, reads something wise, moves their body, eats with care, and walks into the day grounded. The other snoozes their alarm, checks their phone, skips breakfast, and rushes into traffic unprepared. Which one would you trust in a crisis? Which one would you follow when the pressure's on? The answer's clear. Calm belongs to the person who lives by design, not reaction. Build your foundation now. Rise early. Plan your day like a craftsman building something sacred. Guard your thoughts like a warrior sharpens their blade. When chaos comes, and it will, you'll be ready. Not because you're lucky, but because you've trained. Your roots run deep, your branches steady. When others panic, you'll lead. Not out of arrogance, but out of preparation. Control your face, command your presence. Your face is the front door to your mind. Before you speak, it's already told a story. A tense jaw betrays irritation. Darting eyes signal anxiety. In those first seconds of any encounter, people read you like an open book. Mastering your expression is mastering your influence. Walk into any room and eyes scan for clues. Confidence or insecurity, strength or doubt. The untrained wear their emotions openly, giving away their state before they've said a word. But the disciplined, they choose what their face reveals. Their eyes stay soft yet focused, their mouth relaxed, their posture steady. They broadcast calm, not chaos. Start today. Notice your face throughout the day. Catch yourself mid-frown or mid-scowl. Practice relaxing your muscles in front of a mirror. Imagine a provocative scenario. Someone insults you, challenges you, and rehearse neutrality. Your eyes don't harden. Your jaw doesn't tighten. You become unreadable, unshakable. Colleagues see someone who handles pressure. Friends confide in you. Strangers approach with respect. Your face isn't hiding who you are. It's choosing how to reveal you. Set the tone, don't match it. Society conditions you to mirror energy, to match anger with anger, urgency with urgency. But every time you do, you surrender your autonomy. You become a puppet, dancing to someone else's tune. True influence lies in setting the tone, not reflecting it. You walk into a room carrying your own energy, calm, grounded, deliberate. When chaos enters, you don't join it. You contain it. In a heated negotiation, while others escalate, you slow down. You speak softer as they shout. You lean back as they lean forward. Your composure pulls the room towards stability. In personal relationships, when someone brings frantic energy, you offer your steadiness. You don't absorb their storm. You invite them to find their own calm. Practice this. Notice when you start mirroring someone's anger or anxiety. Step back, breathe, remember who you are when no one's influencing you. Teams rely on you in crises. Families lean on you in tough times. Organizations value you because you bring stability to chaos. You're not a thermometer registering the room's temperature. You're the thermostat setting it. The pause that wins. Between every trigger and your response lies a sacred space, a fleeting moment where your destiny is shaped. Most people don't see it. They react on autopilot, slaves to their impulses. But you discover the pause. In that breath, that heartbeat of stillness, you step outside the chain of automatic reactions. You become the author of your response, not its victim. When harsh words hit, your instinct is to fire back. But pause, one deep breath, and the emotion settles. Your mind engages. You choose a response that serves your purpose, not your pride. This isn't hesitation, it's deliberation. The craftsman measures twice, cuts once. The general responds with strategy, not emotion. The wise person speaks to build, not destroy. Practice this daily. When someone irritates you, wait 10 seconds before responding. Count to 3 before answering in a meeting. Take a breath before defending yourself. These micro-pauses create space for clarity. They transform you from reactive to deliberate, from vulnerable to powerful. The pause doesn't make you slow. It makes you precise. It's where your true strength begins. Disrespect reveals them, not you. When someone disrespects you, they're holding up a mirror, not to your flaws, but to theirs. Their need to belittle shows their insecurity. Their mockery betrays their fear. Their dismissal reveals their struggle with worth. You don't need to match their energy or prove your value. Your response belongs to you alone. Imagine someone bumps into you, mutters something crude, tries to provoke. You could escalate, prove you're tougher, draw a crowd, or you could pause, meet their gaze with calm, and walk on. Bystanders don't see weakness. They see mastery. You didn't trade your peace for their chaos. You didn't let a stranger control your state. That's freedom. How often have you let someone's words hijack your day, replayed arguments in your head, crafting comebacks that never land? That time belongs to you, not them. When you realize their behavior reflects their inner world, not yours, you become unshakable. You don't owe them a reaction. You owe yourself a response, one that protects your peace and preserves your power. Silence as strategy. We're taught that silence is weakness, that every thought demands a voice, but this belief fuels a culture of noise, where words lose weight and conversations become shouting matches. True power doesn't need a megaphone. It moves in silence, observing, calculating, striking with precision. When you choose silence over reaction, you're not retreating, you're strategizing. You conserve energy for what matters. You let others fill the void, revealing their insecurities, their motives, their fears. Silence creates a vacuum they feel compelled to fill, giving you insight without costing you a word. In a heated discussion, everyone expects you to counter, to argue, to escalate. Instead, you listen, you watch, you wait. When the chaos peaks, you deliver one sentence, clear, calm, cutting. The room stills, not because you shouted, but because you waited. Your restraint gave your words weight. Precision beats volume every time. Start practicing strategic silence. Don't speak to fill space. Don't argue to prove you're right. Let others exhaust themselves in noise while you conserve your strength. When you speak, make it count. Your silence isn't empty. It's full of potential, the inhale before the decisive blow. Guard your mind. Your mind is a battlefield, and the greatest enemy isn't outside, it's within. That inner voice whispering, you can't let them get away with that. Or, what will people think if you stay quiet? It's convincing, urgent, but it's not your ally. It's the saboteur of your peace, pushing you to react, to fight battles that don't matter. You're not obligated to follow every thought or act on every emotion. Your mind is a garden, and you're its gardener. Water thoughts of peace, purpose, perspective, and they grow. Nurture resentment or insecurity, and they choke out your clarity. Guard your mind daily. When that voice urges conflict, pause. Ask, does this serve my highest good? Most times it doesn't. Someone spreads false rumors about you. Your instinct is to fight back, set the record straight, but step back. Will this matter in 5 years? Will engaging drag you into chaos or move you toward your goals? Most conflicts that feel urgent fade with time. Save your energy for what lasts. Plant thoughts that strengthen, not sabotage. Win yourself, not the argument. Proving you're right and being right are not the same. One feeds your ego, the other protects your peace. Some people argue not for truth but for chaos. They want your reaction, your frustration, your loss of control. Don't give it. Walk away, not in defeat but in strategy. Your time, energy, and peace are too valuable for petty battles. In a meeting, someone attacks your work unfairly. Your instinct is to defend, to correct every lie. Instead, try this. Thank you for your perspective and redirect to what matters. You don't win by arguing. You win by staying focused. Real victory is maintaining your composure, protecting your mission, refusing to be distracted. The strongest people don't fight every battle. They know when to walk away. They understand that winning yourself, your calm, your clarity, your purpose is worth more than any temporary triumph. Your worth doesn't depend on others' acknowledgement. Your peace doesn't hinge on their approval. When you master this, you become free. The calm legacy. Calm is your signature, the mark of a life lived with intention. It's not found in motivational quotes or fleeting moments of quiet. It's built through discipline, through mornings spent aligning your mind, through choices made when no one's watching. It's the legacy of a person who fought the war within and won. The world will always test you. People will provoke, criticize, misunderstand. But when you carry calm, you carry power. You walk through fire without burning. You lead without shouting. You influence without forcing. You don't need to prove your strength. It's evident in your stillness. So, start today. Build your calm moment by moment. Rise early, reflect deeply, choose wisely, guard your mind, control your face, set the tone. Pause before you react. Speak with purpose. Walk away from battles that don't serve you. Be the mirror, not the fire. Because when the storm comes, and it will, you'll be the one who leads, not because you're the loudest, but because you're the most unshakable. This is your power. This is your legacy. Own it.